back. You're watching Overdrive. The Husqvarna Svartpilen and Vitpilen motorcycles are now not only divided by their body styles but also by the engine capacity. And while Bajaj sees business sense in doing that, will the Indian market be receptive to the Husqvarna motorcycles this time around? Let's find out.
Remember this motorcycle? I won't blame you if you don't. This is the Husqvarna. I won't blame you if you don't know how to pronounce it. I won't also blame you if you don't know where these were being sold. Because you see, they just came at a very wrong time. But let's fix all of that. This is a Swedish brand. It's called Husqvarna. It's sold at KTM dealerships because it shares all its underpinnings with KTM. In fact, it's a part of the whole KTM group. But what we are here for is to take a look at the new Husqvarnas, the 2024 edition. Because Husqvarna is now back and they've brought along bigger siblings. Meet the new Svartpilen, which also is bigger on size but also has a bigger engine. The same engine from the new KTM 390 Duke. That's why the 401 badging. They have made the bike significantly larger now, and you don't need a second glance to know that. Every glance though will go straight to the protrusion on the tank, which either bears the Vitpilen or the 401 lettering to tell you what variant you're looking at. And from there on, you realize that it is an arrow straight belt line for this motorcycle, highlighting its neo-retro form compared to the attacking forward bias stance of its KTM siblings. This design is an evolution of what we saw in 2018. So from that sense, it's more matured, more refined. A few modern touches for the onlooker wouldn't have hurt. Some pinstriping on the wheels or dual-tone seats, or maybe a contrasting high-vis yellow grab rail at least. What is modern once you get astride is the new instrumentation, LCD for the 250 or TFT for the 401. But we will come to that in a bit. The 401 model has gained about 3 kgs compared to the KTM. And it's not just that, they've also been able to give you better ground clearance now. 177 millimeters instead of the previous 149. So for our lovely roads, that's definitely going to be better. The new Huskies use the redesigned trellis frame and the swing arm from the new KTM Dukes, but trade in the aluminium monocoque subframe for a cheaper steel tubular frame that also provides the straightish seating profile. The off-center, linkage-less rear shock geometry remains unchanged over the KTM, giving space for a lighter, low-slung muffler and an under-seat airbox compared to the outgoing bikes. The Svartpilen also gets a small bash plate. The seat height is lower too. The updated suspension includes a set of WP Apex 43mm open cartridge forks, adjustable for compression and rebound, and the WP Apex separate piston rear shock, adjustable for preload and rebound, so you can set it up for your riding style. The previous Svartpilen has often felt like a little BMX bike on a gravelly road, a lot of fun. The new one continues to be that, but it's also gone through a big growth spurt. It's got a larger frame, larger engine thanks to all the equipment it gets from the 390 Duke. However, that suspension and the wheel size also comes from the 390 Duke. Now, that is a bit of a missed opportunity is what I feel, because while they claim this to be the more off-roady motorcycle out of the twins, it's still got a lot of that Vitpilen DNA in it. Despite those off-road tires, despite that nice ground clearance, it still feels more road-focused, and that's because of that suspension. The suspension travel is very much like the Duke 390, which is essentially a street bike. The budget bi-brake system provides braking competence, and remarkably, it doesn't seem to mind the off-road tires. It delivers excellent bite regardless. You can even turn off the rear ABS using the Supermoto mode. Just toggle it on the new instrumentation screen. You might scratch your heads when I tell you that the Svartpilen does away with the inertial measurement unit, or the IMU, and even the Bluetooth module is an optional extra. A bit strange considering the growing appetite of the Indian consumers for rider aids and connectivity options since the Huskies first made their debut in India. So you see, they've saved cost with the subframe, they've saved cost with the electronics, and then you start wondering, they've given you Pirelli Rally STR tires. That's some top drawer equipment. Even the KTM 390 Adventure
gets MRFs and doesn't get such quality rubber. So I don't know what the thought process is, but they are tubeless tires. The wheels, however, aren't. These wire spoke wheels are going to be the tube type. So yes, they could catch a puncture on our roads, but at the same time, repairing these wheels, should you smash a spoke or maybe bend the rim, it's going to be much easier compared to the alloy wheels.
Now, don't let those wire spoke wheels and the off-road tires fool you. When it comes to navigating bends, trails or even gravel-strewn roads, the 390cc engine unleashes a level of hooliganism that's nothing short of exhilarating. If you're open to seeing this as a KTM 390 Duke on a budget, dressed up in some neo-retro styling, a little bit better off-road or bad road capability, well, then it all starts to make perfect sense. The Svartpilen may not be the all-rounder that we wished for, but as a budget-friendly, stylistically unique alternative, it does hold its own. And I'm sure there will be quite a few takers for it.
Of course, with this whole Bajaj strategy of the 250 being Vitpilen exclusive and the 401 being Svartpilen exclusive, the pricing may not really match what your expectations were. It's certainly cheaper than the 390 Duke or the 250 Duke, whichever bike you're looking at, but the lack of certain equipment like the electronics, etc., might make you feel like this price is a bit of a nudge over your expectations. But think of it like the premium that you pay for an XL seat in an economy flight. It's totally worth it, isn't it?
With that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Overdrive. But remember, you can stay in touch with the team through our various social media platforms, and you can write to us on YouTube as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.